Happy New Year, Patriots! This is the first vid of the year. So yeah, so far so good. Not much is happening at the moment. Mostly because it's just the beginning of the year. So I'm just here so I can fulfill my New Year's resolution to make a vid every week. Hopefully that would get me some more views and subscribers like yourself. So today I just want to say a few things that I hope for in 2023. First off, the war in Ukraine will end because we need some money over here to eat, because it's hard to support the troops at home if, there are no troops anywhere because, why are we fighting a proxy war with Russia? We tried it before in the 80s. Yeah, we aren't going to do that. And not to mention the fact that the more and more money we give, the less and less that we will have. Well, unless you're a crooked politician, you did that despite anything. Another thing I hope for this year is that we can get those racists out of office. Like a certain the whole anti-Semitic black Muslim from what's that state called again? Which is from, I don't know. It's very minor, really. Yeah, I know she's from Minnesota, but she's on the committee about foreign affairs, even though she hates the Jews. That's why I don't like her. You shouldn't hate a race because of their race. That's just being a bigot. That's what the Nazis did, and I hate those buggers. Another thing that hopefully old Nancy will have to deal with her husband and his boyfriend. Talk about love marriage. Another thing that I hope for this year is probably sustainable gas prices, because we can't go low, medium, high, medium, high, medium, high, low, medium, 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 low, blah, 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 all the ways. We should try to have a decent amount of, consistency when it comes to gas prices. Stick at least the $2.99 mark until, 2024, when hopefully we have someone else behind the Oval Office that actually has more than 5 bloody brain cells and doesn't, do poo-poo in his diaper and wee-wee in his pants. And eats ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Another thing I hope for is probably some more economy growing. We had a little tiny bit of growth, the size of a crumb that not even a mouse would eat. So hopefully once we take back the house officially after January 6th, we will have a nice sustainable economy along with, more capitalism. That's all I can really say. If we need more capitalism in this world, just so socialism doesn't eat us out. Another thing, that Venezuela overthrew their president or something along those words. So hopefully they regain their purpose as being at least the third richest country in the world, because before 2000 they were at least second or third richest country in the world. But after 2001, and no, that's not a 9/11 thing. Those two have nothing to do with each other. Just so you know, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a realist. Get with it. But after 2000, they elected a socialist person in charge. All it took was 1 decade, and suddenly they're the poorest nation on earth, where all you can eat is what you find on the streets. So, not really a utopia, unless you're a rat. But even then, they still have to eat rats there. I hope they're doing okay there. Another thing I hope for this year is probably an end to this whole CRT thing in schools. The end of woke teachers pressing their sense of aggression on children. That is despicable, vile, and makes me want to punch them in the mouth for trying to bring in drag shows into kindergarten teacher schools. That's no, you don't bloody do that, okay? You don't bloody do that! Urgh. Disgusting bigots. Disgusting vile losers. I call them incels because they are incels. They have the hoop earrings, the green hair, the fat cheeks full of, fat and blah. Along, being 400 pounds overweight, they have a nose pierce. I don't know what that's called. I'm not a punk freak. Like during the punk age, I'm not into that stuff. And they always drink Mountain Dew, Coca-Cola, and Pepsi. I never seen these woke teachers drink water. They have the white eyes. Like they never blink. Think of it. I barely see them blink, maybe because they're all hopped up on their special drugs they did, because of the disorders, which basically it's just a scapegoat, really, just so they can have more and more in the veins, which I don't approve of. So hopefully this year we can get rid of them and bring in actual teachers, a teacher that will teach, like Algebra 2, even though I hate it and I think it's useless, it's still good for something, rather than what they teach. I can't really say all of it on YouTube, but, history. Actual history. Not fiction history that they wrote in the fan fiction journal. I'm talking about actual history. Literal history. From the dawn of man during the Bronze Era, or the Stone Era, and stuff like that, all the way up to the modern era, the invention of the airplane, the monorail, the Korean War, the war on oil, the whole thing with Reagan and his funny jokes against the Soviets, actual history, and not just saying white man bad, white man bad, white man bad, be upset because of your race. Be upset because of your race. White man bad. White man bad. Like, as a certain German propagandist would say, the more and more you tell a lie, the more people will believe it. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. He was a settling man. But anyways, another thing I hope for is probably less and less violence in the streets. It was going on in Chicago during the New Year's party. And in New York City, people attacking policemen with hatchets. Machetes, I don't know. I don't want that. Along with hopefully this year we can clean out Chicago from Lori Lightfoot. Along with Portland, because Portland, Oregon, that is. We need to clean up that dumpster fire. Along this year is election season. This is when, hopefully, Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis will go head-to-head. Frankly, I would rather have Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis together, because that is what conservatives are about. Working together, not fighting against each other, because we have the same goal. We need oil and coal, along with, peace in the United States, so that we can spread peace along the world. So yeah, we need to band together. If you're fighting, if you're for Trump or DeSantis, just remember they have the similar goals in mind. They want a strong America. They want peace in the Middle East. They want to bring down China from taking over the United States or other countries. They want to cut spending so then we don't, have to eat bread and water all the time. And they want peace and law and order in America. If you're fighting two different people who have the same views, why not just say, combine them? Donald Trump can be president and Ronnie can be vice president. He is a good governor, I can give him that. He is a fantastic governor. But that doesn't mean he would be a good president. Think about it. Some people can be second best or even third best because that's their skill set. You don't want to become the CEO of a company just when you just left the mailroom. No, you had to work your way up to it. And besides, I think Ronnie, or I should say Mr. DeSantis, should stick in being the governor, because if he leaves being the governor, who to replace him? Think of it. If he's gone, the Democrats are just whip up 5 million votes for some loser nobody, like in Pennsylvania, and just ruin everything in Florida. Ron DeSantis needs to stick into Florida, because that is the last safe hold in America. And if that goes, we're pretty much screwed. But yeah, both Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump fighting together against each other made so that Americans and America as a whole can stay whole. This vid is running long, so I won't make it too long, so I'm gonna cut at the 15-minute mark. Hopefully my editing app can actually do something about that. But so yes, hopefully this year will be a nice, relaxing year. 2020 was the bad year where Scheiße was really going down. You know, there was fires, destruction, blah, blah, blah. 2001, we were in the recovery period. We started licking our wounds, so to say, to try to rebuild our republic. So there were some minor things going on. The Keystone pipeline was down. 6 other pipelines were shut down. A lot of other stuff going on. You know, inflation was starting to be a big thing, and a lot of other minor stuff I can't cover in one video. And then last year, well, technically yesterday, but we had to deal with the war in Ukraine, but then we found out that the Ukrainians weren't so innocent, if you know what I mean. And then we had to deal with other stuff, dealing with high inflation, low gas shortages, a baby formula shortage, a lot of other stuff going along the lines of, you know, Democrat bullshit. You know, the whole thing of Trump's home being raided, and of course his wife's unmentionables for some whatever reason. Along with other stuff like that pillow guy house being raided. Turns out the FBI really loves pillows. Along with other bullshit that had to deal with us Americans, 87 new IRS agents, just so we don't have at least $600 in our account. Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi over there and her associates can have around, I don't know, hundreds of, maybe even millions of dollars in the bank account, even though they don't really make that much considering their place in our government. And of course, last year we had to deal with other minor stuff at home. You know, there was that one person in your family at Thanksgiving dinner that kept talking nonsense about, you know, socialism and yabbly gabbly doobly dook. And then you had to kick them out the next day because they wouldn't shut up. And of course, this Christmas we had to deal with a thunderous mountain of snow and cold and ice and sleet. If you saw the last videos, I recently slipped on some ice and fell on my tailbone. I'm still recovering from that, so yeah, not so good. And of course, a lot of things happened in Buffalo, because, you know, the whole looting of stores, that was terrible. And recently, the whole thing going on in New York City, from what I heard, some crazy maniac took a machete and started attacking 3 policemen. Luckily, they survived, but you know, that stuff doesn't happen to be done with. Almost at the 15-minute mark, so I'm gonna make this brief as the final words of this video. I hope this year you can survive again. I hope you can all survive and build back better, but not in his way. You know, make America great again. The end. Along with, I hope that this channel will grow, and all of you will have a nice, relaxing year.